Very good morning to all my dear friends. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome to Study IQ and I am Prashant Maunia. Let's see what we have got. But before moving ahead, please allow me to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses. Now, Study IQ provides different pen drive and tablet courses for SSC, Bank, UPSC and other government exams. The good thing about them is that they are designed by top faculties of our country. So apart from material, you will also, in a way, you can say that you will also get experience of top faculties of our country with this pen drive and tablet courses. If you have any further question or queries regarding it, you can feel free to give us a call on this number, or you can check out our studyiq.com website as well, and do check out UPSC's tester series that is out on our website. Let's move ahead, dear friends. Today we have many important articles to go through, and the first one is regarding the number games. This is coming from, this article is basically written on this editorial, in fact, is talking about Indian Meteorological Department. Remember yesterday we discussed about this thing. It was in a news form and I provided you this chart as well yesterday. So many of you would be knowing basics about this thing, and today we are going to analyze how things are working. See, basically Indian Meteorological Department is the main department, IMD, right? Or many times it is also referred as weathermen. So they are the ones who are releasing all the weather forecast in our country, and weather forecast is important for our country because we know that so far we have covered this topic in our discussion that nearly 60% of our agricultural land is unirrigated. That means it does not have any sort of irrigation facilities, so it is depending on rainfall. So it is important that the reports or the weather forecast coming from IMD is as accurate as possible. Now this year they have the forecast that they have provided has been a little bit wrong, and this is happening for the longest time. They have tried new method as well, of a new model. They have adopted a new model, and this of course it is not mentioned in this editorial, but I thought I should share this thing with you as well. Now, so far till 2017 they used to rely on one model that was also known as April model, because the data was released, or the forecast was released in the month of April, so it was known as April model, but the real name is Ensemble Statistical Forecasting System, right? They use multiple things to find out how the rainfall is going to be in India. And now they have started using dynamic model. They are using both these methods, right? It is not that they have got rid of this one. They are using both dynamic and April model. And dynamic one, you use supercomputers, and then you find out how the rainfall is going to be. Now again, for the new listeners, let me repeat this thing, and for regular one it is going to be your revision, and I'm going to be as brief as possible. Long period average, basically the long period average of rainfall in India is 89 centimeter. This should be crystal clear in your mind. Now the thing is, what is long period average? You can understand long period, that means we are talking about a very long period, and here it means 50 years. So from 1950 to 2000, this period is taken, and if we go through the average, then we find that all across India every year the average rainfall is 89 centimeters. So that's why it is known as LPA, long period average, and this is 89 centimeter. Now based on these things, you have different categories. So if say for example the rainfall is somewhere between 96% of this 89, remember 96% of this 89 centimeter, or if it is between 96 and 104% of this 89 centimeter, then we call it as normal rainfall. I beg your pardon. Then you have a below normal, you have deficit, above normal, right? This is all percentage of this 89 centimeters. So this should be crystal clear, right? So this is the thing, and now this in April 2017, this IMD said that it is going to be 96%, and then it changed and it said that no, it is going to be 98%. Now you would be thinking, what about this 2% is it's fine anyway. But the thing is, it is getting a sort of window here as well, window of escaping. It is never precise. These things keep on changing, and a country like India, as you know, that agriculture depends on it. And luckily this time there is a sort of in many parts of area we saw flood, but there are other parts that have been dry, like Vidarbha area of Maharashtra, for example. So, but overall crop sowing, you can say it is a little bit down to what if we compare it with last year, because last year it was we already had a record in crop sowing. So this year we are observing that it is little bit lower compared to what it was last year, and this is all taking place because of now India is moving towards drought management, better drought management techniques and things like that. You remember there was a mission that was a sort of drive that was conducted by central government, that everyone has to create ponds nearby their village, so that in this rainy season they can store the water in these ponds created by the people under MG Narega, and this water can be used during the dry season. So these things are working in many places, and other drought management techniques are working as well. So we are becoming a little bit, we can say that we are mitigating the risk that are associated with erratic rainfall. Now, the other thing is that, you know, agriculture is a sort of primary sector of economy, and if rainfall is not going to be good, then it will impact agriculture, and if it is going to impact agriculture, then it is going to impact the urban area as well, isn't it? The prices are going to go up. So in this way the RBI will also be a sort of on accommodative stance. It will not think about decreasing interest rate, and then now, you know, we have talked about it, that if interest rate, that means if the loan is expensive, then businessman will refrain, or he will not be that much enthusiastic to borrow a loan from RBI, or in a matter of fact any other bank. RBI is just an example. So he will not go to get a loan because the loan are going to be expensive, because everything now, you see, this is related with this forecast as well. If the forecast is not right, it is not accurate, then it will create a sort of a ripple effect. It will create a sort of panic in the whole system. So this is something this IMD should take it very seriously, and as I told you that there is a drop catch all numbers. That means it is also trying to provide many other details as well. This is a sort of old practice that has been conducted by this IMD, and which is meaningless one. We need to change these things. We need to move towards more local reports, right? We have to, IMD should think about providing local reports, like say for example Mumbai is a good example. We know at that point of time when Mumbai was going through the flood just a couple of days ago, IMD said that it is going to be a sort of heavy rainfall. But now heavy, right? What is a common person would not know what is a heavy rainfall. If you provide like proper figures, like it is going to be 500 mm or 250 mm of water is going to be there in this rainfall in one day, in this much hours. If you have this sort of local reports, then people will arrange their day, or they will work out their schedule as per the report. In the same way, farmers will, if they have a sort of specific data regarding their local condition, then this will help them a lot. So this is the thing, and they should of course take up challenge of providing this thing, and they should also work on providing and capturing inter-seasonal variation, or forecasting a sort of sudden change like cyclone or typhoon. So these are the things that are necessary. That's everything regarding it. Let's move on to another item, and this is the day, and it is pertaining to Catalonia. Now yesterday I told you about that we have a special lecture available on StudyIQ YouTube channel, and it is available in both Hindi and English. So if you haven't checked it yet, then I would recommend all of you to take out some time and do go through it. You will come to know about, starting from the history of Catalonian people, you will know everything about them and what are the current situations going on, etc., etc. Right, so basically on 1st of October there was a referendum, and this is the place, this is the part of the world we are talking about. This is Spain here, as you can see, and its capital is Madrid. And here in the smaller picture, you can see here this part, or basically this part here, this is Catalonia. Now Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia, and I'm sure you know Barcelona and Madrid football team. It is quite famous. Apart from that, Barcelona is famous for tourism. It is famous for food and its beautiful palatial beaches and other items over there is quite famous. It is basically a tourist destination and a fun place to go as well. And as it is located, and Spain is comparatively hot than other countries of Europe, so it attracts European tourists over here in a huge number. And that is the reason why this Barcelona has one of the reasons why Barcelona is so wealthy. Now the thing is that the way this the capital, that is Madrid, the way that central government has handled this situation of referendum is considered a sort of costly miscalculation, because there was violence that was conducted on the people of Catalonia, and now this is basically those people who were moderate. Now they are also they are also converting into sort of radical, or of course when I say radical, I'm not saying that they are going to be a sort of terrorist, but they used to be moderate. They were not that much angry when this whole topic of referendum was talked about, but now they are also absolutely angry, and they are not happy about the way this things is handled. The other thing is that it is going to be a sort of it is going to be detrimental, or you can say that it is going to be a sort of serious ramification for Europe as well. It is going to bring serious ramification, because Europe is famous for, or it is known as, for democracy. We know about French Revolution, and we know about Greek as well in the ancient times. Since then till now, democracy is quite celebrated in Europe, and this time when people are asking for democratic governance, and when they are asking that they want to quit this federal system, then they are not allowed. And European Union in fact is quite on this matter. It is not saying anything about it. Now police has used, as I told you, violence, and the action taken by Mariano, who is the prime minister, right, it is going to impact his image as well, because 3 years ago when these things were talked about, at that point of time he was having a majority government, but now he is running a sort of minority government, and all this is happening. One of the main reasons why this thing started is since 2008, right, the world went into recession. Of course India was not affected that much, but European countries and Spain and USA and other countries, England, France, they were all going into serious recession. And because of this thing, these people of Catalonia were not happy with the central government. They are saying that we are paying more tax, and the money that we get from the government, central government, is comparatively very less. So what is happening is that we are working hard, and we are basically filling the gaps that are created by the poor states of Spain. So this is something they are not happy about, and Supreme Court of Spain has also nullified this referendum. The Supreme Court has said that it is unconstitutional, and Mr. Rajoy said that he will do anything to stop it, and we can see that he has used violence. So this is going to be a very serious thing. Now it is not going to you cannot douse it out, because it is gone out of control. And the best solution, of course, everyone knows that the best thing is to chat about it. To both Madrid and Barcelona should come to a table, and European Union should take part in it. It should ensure that both these parties, the Madrid and Barcelona, they come on a table and they discuss about the thing. The good thing is that the Barcelona's leader, he is not about violence. What he is saying is, he's saying that we can chat about it, we can talk about it, but we need our democratic rights. That's what he is saying. So again, we have to wait and watch. But as I told you, if you haven't checked that video out, then I would recommend all of you to do it. It will help you a lot to understand many other things as well. Right, moving on to another item, and this is about tackling the economy. Now, before explaining this thing, I would like to ask all those students who are following this English lecture, English Hindu analysis, since its inception. Now, do let me know, right? Do let me know about how much do you understand about economy when articles like this thing, like slowing down of economy, quantitative easing, interest rate and its impact on reviving economy, employment, labor, and all those students who are following both PIB, that is Press Information Bureau lectures that come in the evening time, and this morning Hindu analysis one. If you are following both, then I'm sure you know this is a very easy thing now, isn't it? Because we have talked about it in detail quite a bit time. But of course, as you know, that every day we are joined by new friends as well. So, and it will be a revision for all this, for all of you who are regular. So it's a good occasion. So let's crack on. And this two are basically similar thing. There is this one is talking about fiscal myth and etc etc, but this one is a good one, and we will go through it in detail. Right, so tackling economic problem. So economic growth has slowed for 5 consecutive quarters. Quarters is a period of 3 months, right? So in 1 year we have 4 quarters. So since late 2015-16 onwards, we are witnessing that the economic growth is slowing down, or it has been slowing down, so to speak. And why it matters, why growth matters during this time of slowdown, or in general why growth matters. See, there is a very simple relation. It is very simple to understand, right? Pay attention here for the new students particularly, right? If we want to get rid of poverty, right, then we have to do multiple things. We have to provide, say for example, we have to provide, when I say we, I'm talking about government and society. So we have to provide them food, right, so that they can survive. We have to provide them house, a shelter and other basic amenities, so at least they can survive, the poor people of our country. Whatever the reason is why they are poor, it is not a matter at present. What we are focusing here is providing basic facilities. For that you would require money. The government would require money. Now, from where government will get money? It will get money from 2 sources. Very simple. One is there are other sources as well, but here we will keep it on a very basic, and so that you can understand things. If you buy a packet of biscuit, then you pay tax on it, isn't it? So that tax will go to the government, like GST. If you're earning, if you are working and earning, if you are doing job, business or profession, then you would be paying tax on your income. Again, government gets money. Now this money, if government is getting in good amount, if everyone is paying their due share of tax, then government will have enough money in its pocket, and then government can think and decide like, okay, we need to get rid of poor people, we need to get rid of this open defecation, we need to get rid of all these diseases and things like that. So it will spend money after this thing. Then in, say for example, in this period of time, if government finds that okay, the economy is going down at present, then government will provide some, or it will inject some money in the market. It will invest money, right? It will start infrastructure project, it will start other things, and with this jobs will be created, new businesses will start working with government, and in this way the businesses will have money in their hands, so they will recruit more people getting job means they would be spending, and this way it is believed that the economy will come in motion. So this is basically about to get rid of poverty, we need tax, and once we have tax and then government investing it, then employment can be generated. And particularly in our country, the biggest problem at present what we are facing, or because of this slowdown of economy, is that every month we have like 10 lakh people, 10 lakh youth, they are coming out in labor market, but we are not able to produce that many jobs. So in a year you would have 1 crore 20 lakh people ready to work, but you are not able to create that many jobs because of the slowdown, and because of that you have unemployment, and because of unemployment you have all other issues going on in society. It is, of course, nobody would like to be unemployed, isn't it? Everyone would love to have a sort of a regular job. So these are the things, and then you have the ripple effect. The family will spend less, etc., etc. So this is about why growth matters. The second thing is when it comes to when we ask government at present, when the media is inquiring what are the things going on and how you are going to provide a sort of pace to this or speed to this slowing down economy, then the government says that we are transforming the economy, and since 2014, ease of doing business is a word that we are hearing quite a lot. And the thing is that we are talking about all these things, but there are some things when it comes to ease of doing business. It's not about just providing internet facility will make it ease of doing business. It is not enough that you do provide single window clearance, or if you talk about, or if the processes, of course, everything, all these things matters, right? I'm not saying it is useless, but the thing is, some of the basic things we haven't changed it yet. Say, for example, labor laws. Like, labor laws are so rigid in India that foreign companies are skeptical. They are saying that when we come here, when we set up our plant and everything, and then a time may come. See, ease of doing business, the main focus is basically that we are saying that come and start your factory. But you know that if you know about business, then it is not only about easy entry, it is also about easy exit. So what I was saying regarding foreign companies, like when they come here, right, it is easy for them, but if they want to go out, if they want to close their plant, then it is difficult because of the labor laws. You have to pay this much amount of money, and naturally if you are shutting down your plant or your factory, then of course you are making losses, isn't it? That's the reason why you are shutting it down. So this sort of laws are not going to help, and then you have unions and all these things, and these things are not helping, right? These things are one of the reasons why we are not getting private investment from foreign countries. The other thing is land reforms. It takes ages and ages to purchase a land. You have not clear titles, and you know the things regarding land and problems or things, these issues associated with it. So this is a reason as well. And any company, particularly companies coming from developed countries, they would not like to waste their time, because for a businessman, for a business, time is everything. If you can start a project next month, and if you are going to delay it, and if you are going to start it after 6-7 months, so for this 6-7 months you would have incurred some sort of expenses, isn't it? So you are already chasing the target rather than making any profit. So this is something that is not appreciated by the private investors. And when we talk about investment, then private investment, you know now what are the major issues like land reform and labor. So exit policy is not that good. And when we talk about public investment, that government spending money or investing money, now government is doing it, but it is not enough. And when government is spending too much money or trying to revive the economy, then what happens is it will come to a situation where it will have a sort of deficit. Deficit basically means minus balance, right? It is spending more, or it is giving away more money than it is receiving. So naturally its pocket would be empty, and then it has to get loan from someone else, or the money that it has will become expensive. So in this way interest rates will go up as well. So this everything is like a cobweb, right? Economy is all about cobweb, and I would recommend all of you, rather than, of course you should go through the basic things regarding economy, and pen drive courses will help you with that as well. But what I'm saying is you should observe economy in your day-to-day life as well, right? You know, your mother would be purchasing vegetables and fruits and things like that. So if it goes expensive, then of course you will see that this is generally speaking applicable to Indian lady or housewife, you can say. If she goes to buy, say for example, tomatoes, and if they are expensive, then if there is a sort of alternative available, then she will go for it. So this is how it works. So if you observe your day-to-day life, and if you start watching it from practical eyes with the things that are going on around you, then economy is a very fun thing, right? So that's everything regarding this particular article. Now moving on to urban upgrade. I told you yesterday that we are going to see articles on this thing, this Mumbai stampede which killed 23 people, and this is the third day we are talking about. First day it was as a news item. Yesterday we talked as editorial, and there was an article as well on this thing. So why this sort of things are happening, right? When we know that, when we observe that crises are happening quite frequently, then it is not something that is only people doing it. It is basically the governance, failure of governance in a city area, and we have to change it. We cannot keep it as it is, because we know what happened, right? We had Mumbai floods, then we had this 23 people passed away in stampede, right? In just the dhakka mukki, and this is not fair at all. And this everything is happening as per this article is, and yesterday as well we talked about this thing, that it is because of one of the main reason is there is an sort of absence of coordination between public organizations. Yesterday we started our discussion like two police departments. One is railway police and the one is Mumbai police. They were arguing with each other that it is your jurisdiction, you sort it out. The other one was blaming and telling that you sort it out. So if this is the attitude, if they cannot coordinate with each other, right, then how they are going to sort it out? And here as well, what happens is you have one agency who is building roads, the other agency is again destroying that road, and it is laying down pipelines for water or for internet cables and things like that. We know these things goes on in our country. Just the road construction is finished, and after a couple of months someone will come and they will destroy the road. So this all things are happening because there is a sort of lack of coordination, and there are multiple authorities, and when you have multiple authorities, what happens is eventually if anything goes wrong, then you will see a sort of blame game taking place. Everyone, this one A will blame B, B will say it was C's fault, C will say I was not there at all, and then we cannot reach to a logical conclusion. And what is required is we require a sort of adaptive and flexible planning process. What happens now is we are planning on an average 20 years, right? We are saying like in next 20 years we would require these things, and that's how we are planning. But here you can see this this particular station was so congested, or because in this last 20 years the things have changed dramatically, and this is not kept in mind while planning a city area or urban area. So this should be there. Planning is important because the changes that we are seeing is quite radical nowadays. In last 5 years, the way things have changed in our country and around the world is quite dramatic, and it is quite drastic as well. So we have to keep that space as well when we plan. If we can, we have to find out ways how we can add on. If we have to make any necessary changes, then how we are going to do it. And in constitution as well, as per the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, there is a sort of establishment for it says that there should be a metropolitan planning committee, but this metropolitan planning committee are there, but they don't have any sort of powers. They are like paper tigers, right? They cannot do anything. They cannot take any decision because at urban level as well, at metropolitan level as well, we know that politicians are playing quite a huge role. It is all about how they can get as much as brownie points, right, for their political party and for their betterment. So these are the things are taking place, and what we need is a sort of metropolitan council. We need a superpower metropolitan council that can take decision, that is away from all these political games, that has powers and it has clear functions and autonomy in executing things. It has department of planning and decision making and everything. Everyone is working with each other, the police, municipal department and telecommunication and disaster management people. Everyone should have a sort of periodical meetings. Of course, this is not mentioned in this article, but I would like to add some things on it, that they should have periodical meetings with each other. They should identify that they should conduct some drills, that just in case if things goes wrong, then what we should do. Clear signage, right? What we are lacking here is we think that people have their own conscience and they will use their own common sense, but if we use signboards and direction board, right, then it will help a lot. Trust me, it will help a lot, and that's the reason you find them everywhere in some of the countries, because it helps a lot in managing many things. So that's everything about this thing. And moving on to another item, cost of electricity. This is about, there are basically three costs when we talk about electricity. First one is plant level costs, second one is grid level costs, and the third is other one. Now plant level is as you can understand, when I say plant, I'm talking about the power plant, production of the place where you produce electricity. So of course you have capital costs, and this is one of the huge capital is required if you want to set up a power plant, no doubt. Then you have operation and maintenance, so you have to spend money after that as well, and then you have to pay for the raw material, that is the fuel that is required to produce power. Now this varies as per the power plant. So for nuclear power plant, the capital cost is high. We know it takes ages as well to make it. You need super technologies. Many times you have to, most of the times when it comes to country like India, like we have to borrow technology from someone else, like Russia, say for example, or USA or France. So in this way the technologies are going to be expensive as well, and this is definitely going to shoot up the cost of capital. So nuclear power plants are going to be expensive when we talk about capital, but when we talk about fuel cost, then they are going to be low in fuel cost. Coal-fired power plants, easy technology. Now we have mastered it. Around the world, everyone has mastered it, you can say that. Of course, we are working on efficiency. We are ensuring that more and more efficiency is achieved. But you know how to produce power out of this coal-fired power plants. So capital cost compared to other items very low, and fuel cost is high because coal is a big mess. So coal cost, raw material is high. And the last one is solar. The capital cost of solar and wind is continuously decreasing, as we know, and the fuel cost is nil. And this is how the grid works. This one is not an example from India, but this is the best picture, the most simple one, to simple and sober to understand. Electricity is generated here, then it is sent to this high voltage transmission, right? This is your high voltage transmission lines. From here it is carried by transmission towers. They carry it to different substations. From here it is distributed to either residential area or commercial area or industrial area. In this way it is distributed. So basically what this article is trying to say is that electricity reaches a consumer through the grid, and grid of course requires significant investment. Now as you know that the main job of the distributor or discoms is to produce or to purchase, most of the time they purchase electricity from the generator, and then they add it, and then they supply it to the end consumer, and then whatever the difference is, that is their profit. That's how it works. But nowadays we know that power is coming from other sources as well, like wind and solar. And as you know that the basic structure, when I say basic, I'm talking about the financial structure, is quite different, isn't it? Here nuclear power plants the things are different compared to coal and compared to solar. So if power from different several generators are coming into one grid, then we need smart grid, and we need to sort this thing out as well, so that distributors can exactly find out how much power, how much it is costing them. So this is very important, and based on this thing we have to design our grids, and once we do that, then only we can have this sort of affordable and climate resilient, because once we know that this is the cost we are going to get, and after that we can plan, like in the daytime you can supply more and more energy from solar sources. In the evening time you can switch over to wind and other like coal or nuclear one. So that's very simple to understand, but these items are interesting, so I thought let me share it with you. Right, moving on to, there is a very sad news that in Las Vegas there was a shooting. A stupid man, 64-year-old, he sprayed bullets on the people who went there to enjoy a sort of concert, and so far it has been reported that nearly 50 people died on the spot, and there are something around 200 to 300 people have got injured as well. This attack was a sort of lone wolf attack. Now, what is lone wolf attack? And this is interesting. It is conducted by one person, right? It is not conducted by a group of people. So that's the terminology that is used, lone wolf attack. And because of internet and other things, we still don't know whether he was radicalized, whether he was a terrorist or he was a psycho. Things have not matured yet. Police are going to we will come to know hopefully by tomorrow about this thing, or by today evening. But up till now it is believed that he was a sort of not associated with terrorism, but the other side, IS, was claiming that he was our man. But the police of USA has clearly rejected it, and there was a lady as well who was accompanying this stupid, or you can say a moron, right? This person was accompanied by a lady. She has been located, so hopefully we will come to know more about this thing. And External Affairs Ministry has said that so far no Indian national is affected. So this is a very sad news coming from USA, and we have seen that this sort of attacks by lone wolf, they are using vehicles as well nowadays to kill people. So this is a matter of worry for everyone. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, 3 years completed. Main aim is to make our country open defecation free and achieve 100% sanitation coverage. Of course, everyone knows that it was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and see there, this cleaning thing is going on in our country since 1986. It's been nearly 30 years now, but Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has its own energy, and the awareness that it has created is outstanding. And I am quite fascinated when I feel quite satisfied when I see that children, right, small children going to school, they are so much conscious about keeping the environment clean. They are Modi ji has rightly said that they are the biggest ambassadors of Swachh Bharat, and 94.2 megawatt of energy is also created from waste, solid waste. So it is going to shoot up, no doubt, and we are going to make much out of it, and everyone is taking part in it. And young India is full of energy and motivation, and we have our own dreams, the India that we want to see. So I'm sure that we are going to achieve it. If 125 crore people decide that we want it, then you have it. There is no other way, right? So this is defecation free Gujarat. Rural Gujarat is declared defecation free, and president who was because yesterday was Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, so the president visited his home, that is Kirti Mandir, and he also appreciated the role of women of Gujarat. Apart from that, Morgan Stanley, it is a agency that does all this calculation, and it comes out with its report, right? So Morgan Stanley has said that India is going to be the world's fastest growing economy in the next 10 years, and the things that are helping are digitization, favorable demographics, young India, of course, globalization, and the reforms that are taking place in the country. Apart from that, digitization will provide 50 to 75 basis points to GDP growth, which is very good, and the forecast, it also says that India will grow to a $6 trillion economy and achieve upper middle class income status by 26-22. So this is good sign if we carry on the way we are doing at present. And Nobel Prize have been given, and this one is given in genetics. Basically it is about a sort of biological clock that we all have, all living beings, right? It plants, you find it in animals and human beings, right? We all have a sort of biological rhythm, and it is synchronized with Earth's revolution. So here are the names, help yourself with it, and a picture from one-horned rhinoceros and this one is from Assam. You find them in Kaziranga National Park. It is open now after all this flood and fury. It is open, so people are enjoying it. So that's it, and I have 2 descriptive questions today for you guys. I haven't given any sort of MCQ question. It is a sort of descriptive. You don't have to write to lengthy paragraphs. Just a couple of points will be enough for now. Remember, you can download this lecture from StudyIQ.com, or you can join our Telegram channel, on which this particular lecture will be out in a couple of minutes. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and pass your answer and your comment. With this, I end this discussion. I'll see you all soon. Till then, enjoy your studies. Jai Hind. Now this is talking about basically the